car accident. Lol. Episode 3. The first bosses.
Jonh was on his way to DDoS 2, where the crazy car that killed millions of PPL was on his family, and so were his friends.
Anyone see anything?
But then he goggled the crazy car in his computer, and then he said, "I have found the crazy car's weakness," Jonh said, and then he fly and was doing reverse spins and went faster on his plan to go where his enemies and his family and his friends were. But he was almost out of gas, but he didn't care nowhere and went anywhere to save the innocents from the crazy car that killed millions of PPL. But on his way he saw a body corpse on the ground, and then Jonh went down and said, "What happened over here?" And then behind him he saw a zombie ghost and started scratching Jonh, but then Jonh punched the zombie ghost away, and they said, "What is this?" And then he said, "Why, I am a zombie ghost, prepare to die and become one of us." And then Jonh said, "No, I have a family and friends to save." So then Jonh blew up the zombie ghost with exploders, and then he said, "My family and friends are in trouble there." And then he took off on his plan and fly again to DDoS 2 with fear.
And then he arrived at DDoS 2, and then he saw one of his friends beating the first boss. And then Jonh found a weapon and fired at the boss with explode barrels next to Jonh, and then the boss had a seizure and died. And then the John's friend said, "Thanks, I could help, pal." And then they laughed and happy. But then Jonh heard a scream that came from far away, and then he saw his family and his friends next to his car that killed millions of PPL. And then he said, "No." And then he said, "This is a good time to save my family and my children and my wife and my friends and fight in the final boss," Jonh said. So then he fired a rocket at the crazy car that killed millions of PPL, and then his family scrambled, but he didn't care because it was their own good. So then Jonh fired again with bullets at the final boss. Then John's friend killed the crazy car in the face, and then he wasn't hurt, so his friend was scared and angry. But then the car rammed his friend onto the wall, and Jonh was scared, but he still fit anyway and said, "I have to do my best to be helpful and protect my family," Jonh said. And then he went face to face with the final boss and said, "Sir, you have broken the law and now you must suffer," Jonh said. And then the fighting began. Who will win this fit? To be contained.